Hi guys, we're Group 3. Our topic is about loss of loved ones.
Emotional experience. For each person, losing a loved one is a difficult experience, full of grief and pain. The context of losing a loved one is unique and personal. This may include life or death, separation, or other forms of loss. Understanding the context and emotions behind it is key to dealing with grief. Feeling of losing someone. Losing a loved one is one of the most traumatic experiences that people can go through. But unfortunately, it is one that people often have to deal with. Most people going through normal grief and bereavement experience the period of sadness, numbness, and even guilt and anger. Gradually, these feelings lessen and people can accept the loss of their loved one and move forward. We go through all kinds of loss in our lives, perhaps in different ways to different degrees, but to experience the sudden loss of a loved one is a very big blow. Often it may cause a strong stress reaction. Some people may feel an immediate emotional breakdown. Others may instantly freeze, which is the body's inability to cope with the shock of the moment and a self-protective reaction. For example, after the sudden death of a loved one, dissociative anxiety and the persistent missing of the deceased, with behaviors of sadness, guilt, anger, denial, blaming oneself to others, inability to experience positive emotions during this period of life, in a state of numbness and even affecting some of the functions of daily life. It is accompanied by some physical reactions such as loss of appetite, poor quality of sleep, and frequent insomnia.
The second part is problem statement. 1. Cognitive. Loss of security in work and in life. Loss of trust in society and people, including friends and family, and a strong sense of helplessness. Self-accept, a strong sense of guilt, often blaming oneself for not doing one's duty. Unspeakable feeling of low self-esteem and shame occur. Refresher to accept the reality of death of a loved one, believing that the deceased is still alive. Some people, although reality accept the reality of death, still do not recognize it deep down. Monitoring rumination what ifs and what ifs, or seeking non-objective explanation for the tragedy of bereavement, a sense of including feeling that the world is unfair, suicidal tendencies which tend to sudden tragedy, bereavement of great magnitude. The second is behavior relations, frequent cheerfulness, unbalanced and the slowness of thinking relation, as if living in a dream, difficulty in concentrating on things and random thoughts, the ability to live and work relating deadline, and in self-cause, the person does not go to work or does not do housework, is unwilling to participate in social activity, and is self-isolated. Behavior is impulsive and abrupt. Reoption with spending and contracting people with the similar experience to their own. Next page. How acceptation is the key to allow us to choose move forward with our lives. The first step to acceptance is to allow yourself the space to release your emotions. In the face of loss, accept your emotion and your physical and emotional needs. Allow your emotion to be released. Don't cry. the burden alone. Find safe time and environment to vent your emotion, rationalize and identify with your emotion. Listen to your body's and mind's need. Don't force yourself to doing things and get plenty of rest. Sleeping is important for rest the body, immune statement, and balancing mood. Self-regulation and social support are very important for emotional statement. Self-recognition can be used to state the mind and body thought methods such as grounding exercise, while social support can be used to make a person feel the importance of being seen, understood, and cared for. This sense of physical support is very powerful in the face of grief and big emotional shock, especially among those who have experienced death and loss. Seeking social support and maintaining communication with survivors who have gone through similar experience can lead to a greater sense of understanding and mutual support.
Based on these 5 interviews, we can probably figure out that when we lose someone we love, we all feel sad, unhappy, heartbroken, even grateful. Losing a loved one is a profound and painful experience, bringing with it feelings that are often complex and long-lasting. Each person is unique in the way they face loss and the way they feel about it. People usually work it out by exercising, traveling, or online interaction to solve this problem. Over time, some people come to terms with the loss and move toward recovery. This may involve discovering purpose in life, building new relationships, and developing greater mental toughness. Okay, and there are the feelings, experience, and solutions of 5 interviews to the loss of a loved one. The loss of a loved one triggers different feelings because each person's emotion experience is unique and complex, influenced by a variety of factors such as individual difference, the nature of the relationship, the manner of the loss, and the socio-cultural context. What's new is that we found a third respondent who felt grateful for the loss of a loved one, and that's by far the most enduring feeling. Due to these complex individual differences and environmental factors, people experience a bedrock of feelings when they lose a loved one. Understanding and respecting each person's unique grieving process is essential to providing support and understanding. And here is the summary. Moving past the loss of a loved one is an individualized process that takes time, self-care, and gradual self-adjustment. Here are some suggestions, but remember that it's not a one-time process and that each person's situation is unique. Accept and understand grief. Set small goals. Break down the recovery process into small goals and work towards them gradually. This helps prevent feeling overwhelmed while providing a sense of accomplishment. Staying physically healthy, focusing on diet, exercise, and getting enough sleep can have a positive impact on mental health, physical and mental health. Most of the interviews were sadness and upset by the loss of their friends. All of their loved ones had life of different reasons, but all of them had found a way to ease the pain in their own way.
For psychological rehabilitation, psychological counseling. When you can't walk away from sadness, the necessary psychological counseling is very important, whether it's seeking a psychological or communicating with family and friends is a good way to ease your emotions. Gazing and scowling.
Wallowing in personal emotions and sadness can make a person more depressed. Learn to get out of your own world and be active in socializing and partying. Soothe yourself by meeting new people and relaxing. Emotion, comfort, peace. Animals are good friends of mankind, and when one's grief wants to tell others, one can use pies to relieve the suffering in one's heart and help oneself to engage in life more precisely through small animals. No man is an island. Feeling support from others and listening with empathy can help the giving person feel less alone. Therefore, there are a number of activities that we can do to encourage manners to look outside of their core so-called circle to find people who are best placed to help. The loss of a relationship creates an episode or growth that is hard to let go of. In a relationship, it's not just about identity, roles, and posture, but also about giving and receiving emotional. This requires the counselor to help them to redefine to all find the inner side of being able to regain culture, to find available resources, and it also requires us to make adjustments to our routines, changes, and adaptations in our daily hobbies of life, and redistribution of responsibilities in the family.
Grief is a complex and difficult to understand emotion that is unique as each person. There is no typical grief response that encompasses everyone's grief, so not everyone has to go through all stress or in a prescribed order, and we don't live and enter in a linear fashion, but rather maybe entangled back and forth in the midst of going back and forth from one feeling to the next. And as we go through the stage, we learn about the topography of grief so that we are better prepared to cope with life. In Mourning and Melancholia, Sigmund Freud pointed out that the essence of mourning is process from loss of the object to loss of the self. If mourning is not properly expressed and carried out, the mourner often loses the ability to love, lowers his or herself esteem, expects to be punished, and believes that if he or she had lived a happy and fulfilling life, he or she would have felt guilty about the decreased, and so the mourner will relentlessly attract himself or herself to attack the feeling of grief. There is no clear point at which its progress will end, and is usually accompanied by darkness, depression, and restoration. And until we give mourning enough time, it is impossible for us to restart a new life. As we begin to live again and enjoy our lives, we also spend the rest of our time mourning, and we often feel that in doing so we are betraying those we love. The truth is that we can never make up for the replace what we was lost, but we can make new connection, new meaningful relationship, new interdependence. Mourning is progress of creation, a creation that's involved feeling the loved one authentically, recording with the loved one recommend a place for the loved one when and created that instead of the no longer fixing our spirits energy on the person who has died, but rather better is on living life and renewing our essence of ourselves. We listen to our own needs instead of denying our feeling. We can begin to reach out to others and protect in their lives. We invest in our friendship and our own relationships. We start living again, growing, changing, moving forward.